I'm Jenna. So some context. This is just a story. I'm just going to be telling a story. When I moved to San Francisco 3 years ago, I was craving a community. I didn't have any family here. I didn't really have many close friends here yet. And when you really think about how to make diversity and inclusion work at your company, what you're really talking about is a sense of belonging. And so I wanted to belong somewhere. And I'm a child of the internet. I spent a lot of time on the internet. So I looked to an online community. It's on Slack. And this one in particular is called Rand's Leadership Slack. It's a paid Slack community, so your messages don't disappear after 10,000 messages. And it's filled with people interested in leadership, mostly engineering leadership, but other types too, like product, design, QA, all types of things. And I started to feel like I belonged there. And I eventually became the second top poster on a rolling 30-day window consistently for several months, if you go by total number of messages posted. So clearly I had found something I was passionate about. But here's the thing, I'm a software engineer. I don't hold any formal leadership roles. I code, that's what I do. So how does this connect back to Python? Back in March, I started a new job. I left my old job where I got to write in Python and Django every day, which I loved. And now my new stack is in Ruby on Rails. I spoke at SF Django a couple months ago or something like that recently and did a pros and cons between Rails and Django, and I have some opinions. And so I really wanted to scratch that Python itch and kind of get back to writing really beautiful code and one-liner lambdas and using dictionaries, which I miss, and capital true versus lowercase. I miss that. And by happenstance, Rand's Leadership Slack was kind of facing this community issue where a subset of the community was feeling like they didn't belong there. And I am an engineer, remember? And so I love taking a data-driven approach. So can we analyze people's contributions and who's contributing and figure out, are a subset of the community dominating conversations? And what, demographics of those people. And so a friend of mine decided to kick off a statistics project where we would ingest all messages, reaction emojis, users, channels, and stick it into Amazon DynamoDB. And once a week, send out a statistics report directly to over DM to individual people and also to specific channels. And so by the way, DynamoDB is amazing. We're ingesting, I don't know, tens of thousands, maybe 100,000 of messages, lots of data, and our AWS cost is only $2 a month, or less than. Pretty cool. So the reports we're capturing are how much you're talking, and where, and to whom, and who are you reacting to. And because we're ingesting our own copy of Slack data, suddenly you can build kind of really unintuitive reporting. So for example, we can see what time of day an individual person is mostly posting in their time zone. So I don't know if you've ever been accused of talking too much in Slack, but I have. But with my weekly stats report, I can show that the 2 hours I'm most active in Slack are actually 11 a.m., so right before lunch, and after 5 p.m., so after I'm theoretically at home. And we display this in an ASCII histogram, in a Slack message. The core work for this is open sourced on GitHub. I'm happy to send a link. Sorry, I don't have slides. And all of this code kind of came together over about a month, mostly on late nights and weekends and between 3 people. So I was something like the technical lead imposing code review and doing a documentation first approach and doing some minor product and project management, the glue work. We had the main engineer who was running most of the code unless you count the pair programming work that I did when we would have bugs, which were pretty frequent. Because we were testing mostly with active users, whenever someone who was not as active and didn't have any data, for example, in a specific channel, it would error out. Anyway, little stuff like that. Use cases, who knew that they were important? And then we had the architect who was mostly making sure that we made the right privacy-related and performance-related decisions for DynamoDB. So for example, if you start ingesting private channel data, should that be living alongside your public channel data? Probably not. And you have to keep in mind, Amazon DynamoDB, you can only have, I'm almost done. You can only have one instance of DynamoDB in your AWS account. So anyway, concerns. And so with this project, I was able to scratch that Python itch, contribute to open source, hang out with my friends in Slack, and learn about a new technology and serve a need that I was passionate about. And I share this story because when I reflect on this year in typical holiday fashion, I realized that Python wasn't just a programming language for me, but something that brought me and some friends together and helped the community be better by allowing people to realize that when several people are typing, maybe you should be quiet and let some underrepresented minorities shine. Thank you.